This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the Bee Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at beepodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to this show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply.
Good morning, my friends. I am Candice, a physical therapist, a wellness coach, a lifelong Christian, a mother of 6. And I created my business, the Mind, Body, Spirit Trifecta, where I liberate, enlighten, and empower others to elevate their mind, body, and spirit and own their divine greatness. Happy Thursday! Today, I am grateful for a question that was posed to me last week. Can you live with 100% commitment and 0 expectation? Think about that question. I will repeat it. Can you live with 100% commitment and 0 expectation? What do you believe? Is this a good principle to live by? We have expectations of God, about our curriculum. We have expectations about ourselves, and we have expectations of others. Can you live with 100% commitment to showing up in alignment with your best self, regardless of what happens? Can you stay 100% committed, even if your level of success isn't where you had hoped? Can you stay 100% committed regardless of what others do? Now, I realize that expecting things can at times set us up for disappointment, but to be honest, before I really pondered and picked apart this question, I honestly thought expectations were actually a good thing. I even wrote in a few prominent places my definition of faith, which is faith is a confident expectation. The challenge I was given to let go of all expectations for God, for myself, for others, well, it didn't sit well. The only times in my life where I truly had to let go of all expectations was in 2 painful relationships. In these 2 instances, I expected more from the other person, and they failed me. They did not show up for me how I expected, and I made that mean very harsh things about myself. Now, this is not a good way to act. The way others think, feel, and act is their business, and when we make their actions mean something about us, we truly set ourselves up for hardship. But before I knew better, I allowed myself to feel hurt repeatedly in both of these situations. Once I realized that I had expected more than they were willing to give, well, I decided to let go of all my expectations for the other person, and I gave up on the relationship. I released my expectations of them as a protective measure and a defense mechanism for myself. So initially, when I was asked to let go of expectations about myself and my future and my results and other people, it felt a little bit like giving up on God and on myself and on those I loved. The problem with any type of expectation is that at some point, inevitably, an expectation will not be met. Reflect on your past. What always happens with unmet expectations? Without exception, there will be strong feelings of disappointment, failure, and a sinking into believing that we're not good enough or that we're falling short. Painful emotions will undoubtedly accompany every unmet expectation. The fact is, some prayers don't get answered how we thought they would. Sometimes success doesn't come in the way or on the timeline we expected. Sometimes people won't show up how we wished. This is not because we did anything wrong or because we didn't do something that we should have done. The outcomes we so desperately desire just don't always show up. Now, when we are so attached to things happening a certain way through expectation, and then they don't happen that way, we end up suffering unnecessarily. There's also a bit of entitlement associated with expectations, and that's not good either. So, the question, can you live with 0 expectation and 100% commitment? It pushed me to analyze if expectations really do serve us or not. Understanding these inherently negative things about expectation gave me pause to reconsider if it might actually be a good thing to live with 0 expectation. Is it possible to have rock-solid faith, bright hope, and a firm belief with 0 expectation? After pondering and deliberating about this a lot, I am so grateful to respond with a resounding yes. Not only is it possible, but I dare say it is the ideal. Zero expectation requires us to fully trust and surrender our will to God's. It shifts our focus from the result to the journey and who we are becoming in the process. Zero expectation recognizes the trump card to every expression of faith, hope, and belief, which is, I am willing to let God prevail. I am willing to stay completely in my own lane. I am willing to allow the other person their agency. I am willing to trust myself to do my best with grace. If we truly can drop all expectation by making the results neutral, we are able to intentionally operate from thoughts, feelings, and actions that are in alignment with our highest self, regardless of if our ideal shows up or not. God always has a higher purpose. By truly releasing every thread of expectation from our honest, heartfelt, righteous desires, we can then live with joy, whether or not we get what we want. We can be at peace regardless of how others treat us. We can live in self-belief and confidence even if the results aren't here yet. I define joy as the process of becoming better upon better versions of myself. The journey is not meant to be easy, but it will be worth it. Living with 100% commitment to this refinement process with rock-solid faith, bright hope, firm belief, and zero expectation. Well, this is the key to joy and well-being. I am grateful for the challenge to live with 100% commitment and zero expectation. I extend this challenge to you. Can you live with 100% commitment and zero expectation? Can you live with that in your role as a mom, as a professional, as a teacher, a wife, a friend? What does it look like to show up for our kids with 100% commitment and zero expectation? What does it look like to show up for our own body with 100% commitment and zero expectation? To show up for our clients, family, friends with 100% commitment and zero expectation. It requires trust and surrender. The fruits of eliminating expectations are joy and fulfillment despite circumstances or results. I am grateful for this new understanding and this refining of my faith. It is so powerful to live with 100% commitment to rock-solid faith, bright hope, firm belief, high standards, and zero expectation. Thank you for joining me today and for being part of my journey. I believe in you, and I truly am thankful for you. If you'd like more from me, I invite you to listen and subscribe to my podcast. It's called Designed for Greatness with Candice Noss. Grab my free video about taking your self-talk from crappy to happy. I'd love for you to join my Thankful Thursday email. You can always contact me through my email address. Links are in the show notes. And remember, you are designed for greatness.
Thanks for listening. And whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at bpodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.